Hey everybody, Susan Beatty here with another video trying to find ways to help you. I know it's been a while since I've put one on my channel. I've been pretty busy. February was really busy, a busy month of traveling and such, and things have kind of slowed down right now for obvious reasons. So I've spent some time trying to find some ways that I can help you. I know you've got a lot of resources thrown at you at once. But it's kind of, and sometimes it's kind of hard to pick out those things that would be most beneficial to you. But I started thinking about if it was me in this situation, I would want something that I could continue on and be as continuous as with what I was doing before. And so I found this site. I'm going to share it with you here in the next few minutes. It is online labs that are I think pretty high level and incorporate claim evidence reasoning in what students have to do. And I'll show you as we go through it how that works. But let me just show you what this is. This is called InQ-Its. I don't know if anybody's heard of this before. If you have, great. I would suggest that you use it if you haven't. Um, right here, I noticed this. This is how I made my account. Click here to access your complimentary account. They have some of their labs are locked with a complimentary account and some of them are open. But what happened to me yesterday when I clicked for this complimentary account, I got the complimentary account, the free account, and I saw that many of the labs were locked. But then just a few minutes later, I got another email from them saying we've unlocked them for you. We're giving you more access, and I think they might be doing that because of all of the school closures, and they're trying to help teachers out. So if you're interested in this at all, it might be a good idea to go ahead and at least get an account and see if they'll open them all up to you, and then you'll have them. Maybe you'll have longer access with them. I don't know. It might be something that they end up making us pay for, but we'll just have to see. So if you click on that, it'll let you go through. Oh, I'm sorry. It'll let you go through, and I signed in with my Google account just because it's easier and faster. You can create an account with them and make a username, password, and all of that, but I would suggest using your Google account to make it faster. And once you're signed in, it will bring you to their page like this, and I think it will open you up to this page right here. And what this is, this first set right here is all tutorials. And you can see that there's a tutorial for about a ramp activity and a tutorial about a flower activity. Either one of them you could use. I would suggest making your students do a tutorial before they do any of the rest of them because it guides them through the steps and shows them how to do it. This one, of course, the advanced one's a little harder than the basic one, so you use your judgment which one you think would be best. The difference in these 1, 2, 3 is the level of help the program gives you. So at level 1, you don't get any extra assistance from the computer. At level 3, you get quite a bit more assistance from what I understand from it. And you can read those and it tells you that. If you just want to give them these without the tutorial, you can do the flower and you can do the ramp activities, and it gives you a lot more options than the tutorial does, which we'll go through here in just a minute real quickly. But I wanted to show you, it does have some physical science labs, it does have some life science labs, and has some earth science labs. So and then some helpful resources at the bottom if you get stuck. But I just thought if there was a topic you're covering and you didn't get to your lab, you got interrupted, this is something you might assign them to give them that lab experience, and then some collecting data experience, some claim experience, some evidence experience, all of those things that we're pushing right now to prepare for the test, if however that works, however that's going to happen. But anyway, to do one of these tutorials, once you get signed in and all, what you do is you need to add your students, and they can do it using they can log in using a code. Or what's even easier is if you give them a link to your class. And so if you go to this is not it, right here. If you go to, back to the labs that you want to do, let's say I want them to do this basic tutorial 1 with the flower. So I hit assign, and then I can assign it to my classes, my Google Classroom classes, if I am using Google Classroom. If you're not, you'll have to assign it, giving them a code and giving them a InQ-Its account. So much easier if you're using Google Classroom with it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off because I've already actually assigned it to those. Actually, I haven't assigned it to those. So I'm going to leave those on. You can put a due date. I'm going to say it's due March 24th, just as a random date. It doesn't have to be that day, but randomly March 24th, I'm going to assign it. And I'm going to publish it because I want them to be able to see it. And then I'm going to assign it to those classes. Okay, and then it's going to show you here where you've assigned it to the classes that you've already got in Google Classroom. Mine were called Class A, Class B, and you haven't shared it with them yet. So what you do, the easiest way to do it is to look right here. It's got this shareable link. If you click shareable link, it gives you a link. Copy it, go to your Google Classroom, and create an assignment, or however you choose to do it. You might just share something with your class. That might be an easier way to do it. I don't know how you want to do it, but it's up to you. But you can link it there, put the link there, and then give them an instruction. Use this link for the flower lab. And then you can post it. You can post it, and it will show up and they can get to it. All right, so then when they click on that link, it will take them to the flower tutorial. And what it gives them is it gives them 3 steps. I would ask them to look at this welcome page because the welcome page shows them the steps of the lab. It's got 4 phases. They make a hypothesis, they collect, they analyze, and they explain. The hypothesis is kind of cool because it gives them the backbone for it, and they have to fill in the blanks with their variables, how they want to manipulate the variables. And then when they collect data, it gives them tabs to collect or to check to change their variables, and then it shows them their results in a data table made for them. And then once they're done collecting that, then they can make a claim. Then they can choose the trials that support their claim, and then it gives them the chance to write a claim, evidence, reasoning, explanation at the bottom. Okay, so once they've gone over that, they click yes, I've read the directions. And then the next step gives them the task, the flower task, what they're going to ask them to do in the flower task. It's pretty simple for the tutorial. And then it's going to give them the activity. And this kind of shows you what that looks like. It gives them a goal. And they really need to pay attention to this goal because that tells them which variables to manipulate. They don't want to manipulate some other variable that's not in the goal. So when they go and do their hypothesis, if I either increase or decrease, we'll say increase the red dye, because that's what the goal is, red dye, then the petal loss, which is what we're talking about, or the redness of the petals, excuse me, the redness of the petals will, and then they can choose, it will increase. You know, they're going to choose what they think is going to happen. And then they click, I'm ready to run the experiment. Then it's got their hypothesis listed that they chose. Then they can manipulate these variables however they want. First trial, I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to leave everything the same, and I'm going to run the trial. And you can watch the graph form as it runs. And it's pretty quick. It doesn't take days like it says, but it shows how days would pass. It records what happened there and it lets you add it to the table. You can see down there you're starting a table. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the red dye because that's what I said in my hypothesis and see what happens. And I'm going to run that trial. As you can see how it's got red dye in the water. And you see what's happening to the petal color over time. And I'm going to add that to my data table. You can run as many trials as you want and it will keep populating in this data table. I'm not going to do more just for the sake of time. But when you finish collecting, then you can make your claim based on your hypothesis and your evidence. It gives them the evidence right there. When I increased the red dye in the water, the redness of the petals increased. This supports my hypothesis. Or if it didn't, this does not support my hypothesis, whichever one they select. And then they have to pick which evidence of their list supports that claim. I could choose both, or I could choose one, or if there's a wrong one, I definitely wouldn't choose it. And then I would say, I'm done with my analysis. Then this is where they write their claim. They write their evidence that supports their claim from the data table. And then they write their reasoning. Why does the evidence support the claim? So it's just a way. Then they hit finish, and I didn't complete all the fields, so it won't let me. But they hit finish, and then you can go in and you can see when you look at your students. If I had students, I don't have students in my class registered, but if I had students registered, it would show what they've completed, and you could go in and you could see what they've done, what they finished, how they did, what they wrote, all of that. So it gives them a chance to do some lab stuff at home on their computer. This is just one option. If it's something that you're interested in, please take advantage of it. And email me or call me if you have any questions, and I'll be glad to help you with it. I'm constantly looking for ways to help you provide more resources, and I hope maybe this helped you a little bit. So thanks for watching.